Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for another speed build. So today we will be making a kind of market stall area in the docks of the Ancients Landing in the DLC. Hope you guys enjoy and let's get started. So what I first did when I got in is I placed a lot of the different items I knew I was going to be using out into a spare location just above. I tend to do this quite often just because it gives me a really good idea of what items I already have in my inventory that I can use and utilize in different ways, as well as be able to see which ones I probably need to craft more of. So I did this first and I started placing some of the bigger items like the large craftable tents we got with the DLC, as well as some of the boats by the docks. So first I started planning out what I wanted to put in each kind of tent area. I'd had a kind of basic idea of what different kind of market stalls I wanted to use and what I wanted their kind of theme to be. But I did play around a lot during this video with where I wanted things to go. I did change it up a lot. So I do apologise, nothing was pre-planned, but as I do today in my other speed builds, I like to do this with my kind of own creative ideas. I don't like to plan too much of where things are going to go, just so I can let myself have kind of the inspiration as the build continues. In this build I did use a lot of the craftable items from the DLC rather than Scrooge shop items, just because it means that people have more accessibility to these as they're craftable. So if you do have the DLC, you should be able to access all of the craftable items available if you've collected all the different resources from the Isle. In this build I did want to go for things that weren't too desert related, just because I am planning on doing a bigger market build in the glittering dunes, which I will do a speed build for at some point when I get around to it. But I wanted to kind of make this one not as focused on things like that and some of the craftable kind of sand related items we have, just so I could keep things quite different between the two different markets, as they're definitely for different things. Two of the main focal points that I did put in front of the markets was these two tree sections, with the smaller ancient landing tree and the larger flowering one. With the flowering one I already had an idea. I wanted to kind of keep it similar to what we originally had when we first got into Ancient's Landing, which was the larger tree with the benches around it, but I just wanted to make it a little bit more overgrown and a little bit more eye-catching. And then with the smaller tree I just used it to kind of keep things natural and make it look a lot more overgrown, so I placed that in and put lots of the different foliage from the DLC around it. We have so many beautiful plants from all the different biomes, so I wanted to showcase them around both of these trees. I then went in with some of the ancient lampposts and placed these around the biome just to bring a lot of light and make it seem a lot more built up, and I absolutely love these lampposts. I think they're one of my favourite craftable items from the DLC. They just fit so perfectly in lots of different places, so I did pop those around the pathways just to make it all lit up and seem as though there was a clear pathway to follow. I then went in and took some of the flowers from Ancient's Landing, so the normal colourful flowers as well as the ones that light up, and I dotted those around the different areas of the build. I absolutely love these light up flowers. I know most people do, as they just look amazing during night time, and I wanted to kind of showcase them in this build. Now, as you can see, I was trying to find a spot to put a couple of fountain tiles just to kind of give things a bit more of a watery feel, and as you can see I struggled a lot with where to place these without it looking odd, but I did find a spot by the stall that is going to have all the fish on, and I just felt like it fit that area the best, as it was near the water and obviously showcasing all of the sea life on that stall. In this build I did use a lot of small items to fill in gaps and bring kind of extra character to the area, but if you are someone who is on a smaller item limit. Obviously, I have an item limit of 6,000 as I'm on PC, which is very fortunate. And on the Isle, I've obviously only done a couple of builds, so I'm currently not even at 2k on my 6,000 limit. However, if you are someone who is on a smaller item limit of 3,000, just don't place in these smaller little items of foliage and things like that. They're not necessary. You can definitely achieve this look without adding those in. I just personally enjoy having them dotted around. Now here I'm adding in the final few items, so as you can see I did have to purchase a couple of things from Scrooge's store, but not much. I had most of it already, and as I said, the bulk of everything in this build is craftable, which just makes it a lot more accessible for people who don't have all these items from Scrooge's or are newer to the game and don't have access to them yet, but they are all DLC craftables, and there are a couple of base game craftables too. The final touch was just to go in with some added foliage and to finish off the pathways. I also decided in this smaller section by the water, I didn't really have anything to place here, so I decided to put in 2 of the base game craftable stalls, as I'd not included a gem stall. Now this is something I'm going to be putting in my desert build. I'm going to have a really big market area for gems just because it fits the biome, but in here I thought it would be nice to have it, so there is a small little section for gems where the travellers who are looking for the more luxury items could come and purchase those. Into the seating area, I added some food onto the tables, as well as this little beach area with some of the craftable chairs and an ice cream stand. I just felt like this made it seem kind of fit the market vibe, but also gave it a beachy feel, which obviously the dock area is, as it is right on the water. One of my final touches, I added in some of the base game beach grass, and I then started decorating the water. Now, I wanted the water to look very whimsical and fairy-like. I tend to do that with a lot of the water on the original valley as well as Eternity Isle, just because I absolutely love the lily pads that light up. I do hope one day we get some more of these in different colours and things like that, but I had a lot of foliage in the water and some lily pads and some reeds, just to make it seem very whimsical around this area. Finally, I added in the gems onto the stalls. I felt like these just looked really sweet here, and I kind of mapped out where I wanted the path to go, which took a little bit of a trial and error, just because I like to keep it so it looks like people could actually man the market. So I kind of had to move things around a lot, but then I just placed some foliage around that path, and it was pretty much getting there. Final thing I did was place in a few melted candles just around some of the market stalls, just to give it that warm vibe as people were walking around, and that was it for the whole build. I will take you guys through. So on the left we have a banquet kind of food market, and then the tea set market, which I absolutely love. And on the right we have the tables, the well, and the little beach seating area. I think this looks super cozy, and I think people would love to sit here. As we head round to the left, we have the fruit and vegetable stall, and then we have this little surfboard area. I kind of imagined this to be somewhere people would come and try on surfing outfits. As we carry on for that, we get down to the dock area where I just had a lot of barrels and foliage around, and on the right we had the fishing stall with all the fish and shells on. Following down, we just have this small little seating area and campfire in front of the water where people may come and hang out and cook themselves some food before heading back on the sea. As we head round, we have the clothing stall where people can buy clothes, as well as the floral stall, and as we head down the end we have Goofy's stall as well as another small seating area and the gem stalls. That is my completed build. I absolutely love how it turned out. I think it really does look like a whimsical market area, and I'm really excited to have this in my valley. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you do have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!